In this country, it's extremely hard to love being Black, but I have learned to love many things in my lifetime. Being Black is one of them. My name, my forehead, and my upbringing are some of the other ones. My grandma, Pearl Rogers, Ole Battle Ax, as we like to call her, never failed to provide tough love. It's called tough love because it's hard to decipher if the person really loves you or if they're just in need of a treadmill to exercise their negativity. I remember so much about her, but I don't remember the exact day we met. I'm told I was a year old. My father was a Vietnam vet who lived to tell about a Conrad he stood next to while a flying object decapitated him. And my mother, the baby of the family, got everything she wanted until she was diagnosed with kidney failure at 35 years old. And so when I was 6 years old, I had to go live with my grandmother. Living with grandma in Virginia is like boot camp. Unlike most Southern belles, she isn't hospitable to me at all, and she's quite uncomfortable in church. It's as if there's just no salvation for her soul. At 6, I cried to Grandma, telling her my true feelings about how much I miss my mother, the person I love most in the world. Grandma cuts me off at the door. She says, "I don't do all that mushy stuff," and I'm thrown out of her room. Every day, my cousin and I do yard work. It's cold outside in the early morning. Dew glistens everywhere. I scurry into something I can wear for yard clothes and contemplate whether I have time to brush my teeth. If there's cause for a second call and the back door swings open, there will be hell to pay. I see that rake. It's taller than me, with a brown wooden handle, skinny in the middle, and fat at the ends. Old Stand By Me, she calls it. It has taken some hits, but it has never splintered. I joke that we are slaves. It's not really a joke at all. First shift, 7 to 12, and maybe we'll get some home fries. And don't you dare complain, Grandma will say, "I've been out here since 5 a.m. while you slept like I'm running a hotel." I know self-combustion. I really do. I could die. No, my grandmother should die. This old, evil, heartless hag. There's nothing to do here to help pass the time but watch grass grow and listen to cows mating. The only outlet for my fury is yelling into my tape recorder for hours, trying to release what I can never say to her face without adding another life sentence to the one I'm currently serving. Why am I destined to this life? What have I done to deserve this? I know I'd make someone a great daughter if I only had the chance. As a matter of fact, I have a home with a mother who loves me. Grandma, you are the only thing standing in my way. You don't love me. I'm not yours. You should just let me go. At 14, everyone in the family knows my mother is very ill, and they try to provide a way for one last visit. I hear Grandma on the phone. "Shaniqua can't come this summer. Don't you think I need someone to make me a sandwich?" And she slammed down the phone. My mother dies that year. My mother had written me 36 letters. They're my lifeline. They keep me sane as I pray for a disruption, perhaps a natural disaster, to rescue me from the bottom of this actual hell. In my wildest dreams, there will be an intervention or a miracle adoption, as I'm quite certain I'd make someone a wonderful and sincere daughter at most, or a magnificent servant at the least. Either would be better than this. These letters are everything to me until my grandma throws them all away. At 17, I had a miscarriage. At 21, I had an abortion. At 31, I get pregnant, and believe it or not, I plan to name my baby Pearl, after my grandmother. When I tell her I'm expecting, she's so disappointed. She says, I don't understand why people don't learn not to follow in other people's footsteps. Dumb women just keep doing the same things. I decide over my dead body, am I naming this baby Pearl? So I don't come back for a while, not until sometime after the baby's born. And just when I thought she was getting used to the idea, the evilness returns, and she criticizes my baby's head. How I raise my daughter now is much different than how my grandmother raised me. I can count on one hand how many times I've actually spanked her. I never threaten her with an extension cord. When my daughter is 3 years old, my grandmother has a stroke. We go for a visit. Grandma can hardly speak. All my life, my grandma has been the one with a powerful voice, the one who could broadcast her opinions like they were front page news. When you did something wrong, she would run that story like you were villain of the week until you felt like pure garbage. Now, her voice isn't powerful enough to get the attention of my aunt, who has become her caregiver. Grandma communicates to me that she's hungry. And when I tell Auntie that Grandma wants something to eat, Auntie says, oh, Grandma's always hungry. She's not really that hungry. I'll feed her. I tell Grandma that my aunt will give her some food soon, and she puts her hands down in her hands, and she just shakes her head. She points to the bed, and I tell Auntie that Grandma wants to go to sleep. Don't worry, my aunt says. I'll put her to bed in a little while. No, 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 Grandma cries. I'm amazed. I remember a long time ago when Grandma was coming home from knee replacement surgery, I accidentally slammed 2 of her fingers in the car door. She wanted to kill me, but even then she didn't cry. I realized that the tables have turned. Now her daughters are the ones with the power, and this is the payback. Even though I have been very angry with her for a long time, seeing her this powerless brings out my compassion tenfold. I don't know what to do, but I can't see her cry like this. I have to come up with something, some sort of compromise. I'll get you in the bed, I promise, wondering how I was actually going to get this woman out of the chair to start with. Grandma is not small at all. She points to the lift. It's a big metal contraption they use to carry people around. I have no idea how to work this doggone thing. I'm trying to figure out, I'm pressing buttons, and then my 12-year-old cousin walks in, and I say, oh, thank God. Do you know how to work this thing? She says yes. Together we move Grandma from her recliner onto the lift and then over to the bed. For a minute, the lift gets stuck on the rug, and Grandma's just swinging over the bed. I pray to God we don't drop this woman. Then the lift starts moving again and gently lowers Grandma exactly where she needs to be. I'm happy I'm able to accomplish this one thing. I'm also relieved to be heading home without getting a backlash from my aunt about defying her authority. Shortly after my grandmother's death, I give birth to another baby girl, and this time I name her Jana Maya Pearl Waters. The name says everything. Jana is a spinoff of my name, Shaniqua. Both mean to explore. Maya implies that she will be a writer, and Pearl, like my grandmother, Ole Battle Ax, she's solid as a rock and indestructible, the woman who taught me to be strong. Jana is eager to communicate and begins speaking at 3 months old. She looks like an old lady, just like my grandmother. And her favorite thing to do is clean up. I can't help but to think of her as my grandmother reincarnated. I remember my grandma once told me, I'm glad you're not my mama. But in the end, I guess she didn't really mean it. My grandmother was right about a lot. Only as an adult am I able to appreciate what she taught me. As black and white as my grandma saw things, the reality is that she raised 6 girls and 2 boys with no proven formula for unlocking success. My grandmother believed she was doing what she needed to do to raise strong black women to survive in a tough world. It wasn't until after she passed away that I realized she had succeeded. I am strong. I am resilient. And I hope that in raising my daughters differently, without so much tough love, I can still pass that on to them. Thank you.